this video, we will discuss the word exchange in the stock market. A market is a broad phrase that refers to the location where equities are exchanged. When we talk about exchanges, we're actually referring to the particular site where trades are completed. So when I mention food shops, I'm really talking about marketplaces. If I go to a certain retailer, such as Whole Foods, Walmart, or a 24-hour convenience store, they are known as exchanges. So in these exchanges, which is the market, you can go buy stuff from grocery stores. The same is true for stocks. You have the stock market, but inside the stock market, there are many exchanges to which you may go. So many different stores and actual venues where you may buy and sell stocks. As a result, the New York Stock Exchange is an exchange. It's a place where you can purchase and trade stocks. The Nasdaq is another place where you may purchase equities. They're both stock exchanges, but they're not the same. So, in order to have a better grasp of the exchange, we will seek for a quick history lesson on how stock exchanges came to be. So, back in the day, let's say in the early 1800s, if you wanted to buy or sell a stock, you had to locate someone else who wanted to buy or sell that same stock from you at the same rates you were prepared to pay. So, if you wanted to purchase 100 shares of, say, IBM, you'd have to locate someone who wanted to sell his shares of IBM. And you'd have to find someone who wants to sell them at the price you're ready to pay for them. So it wasn't simple. People used to have to post it in the journal or locate someone on the street and ask around. It wasn't easy. You didn't have a computer where you could simply plug it in and match with someone else. As a result, it was a bit of a nuisance. So they would do what people used to do back then. They would meet. There were these regular meets that individuals would have in town halls and city centers where they would congregate and swap stocks with one another. As a result, one of the places was in New York. People would gather there every Thursday, either around noon or at 2:00 p.m., or something like that was the case. We are not so sure about this, though. They'd meet once a week, and they were financially competent individuals. They both possessed equities in various firms and wanted to meet so they could quickly purchase and sell those stocks with one another rather than going through the effort of having to locate a counterparty. This quickly gained popularity, and many individuals began to meet with them. And that specific group in New York began to become larger and larger as more and more individuals began to arrive on that day to trade stocks. Then they began meeting more than once a week, then twice a week. So what occurred was that a number of these merchants who actually started this, who were meeting there first before everyone else arrived, began to see that dealing with so many people became a problem. Because there were too many people around, they decided to gather and sign an agreement called the Buttonwood Agreement. They now call it the Buttonwood Agreement since the gatherings were always held beneath the Buttonwood tree. And it said in that agreement, we're not going to trade stocks with anyone else but ourselves. Okay, there were 24 of us. We're only going to trade with ourselves. And if someone else wants to buy or sell stocks from us, we'll charge him a 1/4 percentage point commission. What we're going to do. As a result, it becomes less frantic, and we may profit from them. And then we realize that everyone will have to buy and sell stocks from us since we have the most stocks in our group of individuals who will have the bulk of the stocks at this place. As a result, individuals had to travel through them. That worked out really nicely for them. They made their way from beneath the tree to the coffee shop next door. And once again, that accord was reached in 1992. That's when they agreed to it. Only a year later, they were located from that coffee shop and purchased the building directly in front, which is today known as the New York Stock Exchange. As a result, the New York Stock Exchange was formed. And these 24 persons were the first 24 brokers. Again, there will be another video explaining what a broker is, but a broker is someone you must go through to acquire or sell an asset. And these were the first 24 brokers. They still do to this day. There are more brokers, obviously, but the same premise applies. You phone your broker, and he buys and sells it for you. People would have to go visit them, and they would purchase or sell stocks for that individual through another broker. There are 3 major exchanges that exist today. The New York Stock Exchange exists. There's the Nasdaq and the American Express. The New York Stock Exchange is the largest and most competitive exchange. The way you'll perceive it, an exchange is similar to a store. And In order for your goods to be sold at a store, the business must accept it. The same is true for exchanges. If you want your stock to trade on an exchange, you must first apply to that exchange to have your product listed there. So, if Snapshot wants to be on an exchange, they must first inquire with the exchange. And if they go to New York and say, hey, can we put our stocks on your shelves so people can buy and sell it here on this exchange? They must be accepted in New York. New York is becoming a highly demanding retailer. It's a very difficult transaction. They have the most stringent standards of all the exchanges. So you have to be a pretty huge corporation. And when I say demanding, I mean they're looking at the scale of your organization. You must have a large firm. You must have a certain number of employees. Your pricing must be greater than a specific amount. Every day, your stock must trade a particular number of times. So they have standards. NASDAQ is now the second exchange. NASDAQ is less stringent and well known for its technology businesses. As a result, the majority of technology businesses trade on the NASDAQ. Different equities are now traded on several markets. They do not trade on every exchange. It's similar to owning an iPhone. If you want to get an iPhone, you can go to Walmart, but you can also go to the iPhone shop, so you can buy it from there. The same is true for stocks. You may purchase many corporations on several exchanges. Some businesses are seldom presented. It will be on more than one exchange, but most likely only one. So when someone asks you, hey, where's the stock trading? It is traded in New York or on the NASDAQ. They're discussing which store it's trading in. Where should I go if I want to buy it? Which store should I go to? Amex is now the search exchange. Amex is an exchange that specializes in ETF or exchange-traded funds. Now, we'll talk about ETF in another video, but most ETF will be traded on the Amex market. So these are the three exchanges that you should become acquainted with if you want to trade stocks in the United States. Various nations will have different exchanges, which you will need to research. That's it for this video, so tell us what you think. Thank you so much for watching our channel. We really appreciate it. Be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more great content. If you like this video, and you can also check out our previous videos, links for those videos are in the description. We release new videos every week, so be sure to keep watching. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.